Hi guys, welcome back. It's Tommy with the grand finals of the STL tournament. We are traveling back in time in the year 2016 to witness history in the making, as we have a great engagement in between these two pro players. Of course, most of you know should know of course who this is. Spawning here in the upper right in the purple, it is Bisu, and his opponent here in the lower right in the orange, it is Flash. Both of them from South Korea, as we also see the observer here, Flash versus Bisu final. And notice also on the minimap you can see the STL logo. So 2016 it is. I'm going to be casting the whole series as I found the replays on a internet website. So really excited about this one. Let's see what exactly they have prepared for us. As Bisu looks like he's placing his island really interesting enough. Perhaps he will have some vision here. So nice early pylon here by him. Perhaps he will also secure his expansion. Let's have a look at Flash. Of course, pretty standard open up with his supply depot next to his command center, just to give mobility for his SCVs and even more for those marines to kite here back and forward, just in case Bisu decides to cheese. And yes, I can also see that gateway, so there's a really small gap here for Bisu, so he could nicely wall in. Perhaps he could continue with a forge, with a cybernetic core could also be a possibility, as luckily here for him he's scouting the map straight into the right direction, straight towards Flash's base. So it could be a small timing advantage here for Bisu, as he finds now Flash, he finds the barracks, and he's already being annoying here, attacking this one SCV. So Flash of course immediately reacting, pulling another SCV just to scare this probe away. Probe already taking quite some damage. Bisu needs to be careful. Of course, both of them with a very high APM. Really great control by both of them. Gas is also up here for Flash. First Marine will be produced really soon, and Bisu even taking more and more damage. So Flash really out microing Bisu here early on, and Bisu might even lose this one probe. Now finally Bisu takes care of it, but there's two SCV now trying to corner this probe, but Bisu has that shield advantage against Flash, and yeah, he's just going to be once again more and more annoying, as we can see actually a first zealot move out. So no fast expansion for Bisu, just straight into the zealot, and we have a cybernetic score for it. Finally the probe, no, it's still alive, getting chased by a marine, and we also see the first factory, yes indeed. So like many Terrans, we will very likely also see Flash go into a mass mechanical build order, or he might do a surprise with a starport, which could be a possibility to drop some marines into the main from Bisu. Let's have a look exactly what his plans are. The factory is almost being done. Of course, early on you really need that factory with those vultures, with those mines, as now Flash is also making here his way into the main from Bisu. Probe has been sniped, I believe. Yes indeed, one marine should have one kill. Yeah, there it is. So finally scouting probe from Bisu has fallen. He still has this one zealot parked, but those two marines could poke at him and clear the way. Now the SCV has also scouted the main from Bisu. Still no expansion, so Flash knows exactly what is up, as I believe he's also making here his expansion into this main. Expansion here will very likely upfloat it and downfloat it here, so this is of course the advantage from the Terrans, as we're closing at the 5-minute mark. So it's a nice scouting from Bisu. Let's have a look. This should be another supply depot from Flash indeed, and this one zealot steering into this location. Flash not deciding to attack, perhaps it's a wiser decision not to attack, given the fact that this zealot could run by here through and make it even to the middle line. Let's have a look. You can also see in the upper left part the production tab, siege tank with siege tank ability, and there's this one siege tank. So yeah, zealot will be scared away, but I'm pretty sure that dragoons will follow up for Bisu. There is that first dragoon. Let's have a look what he's hiding here. The Citadel of Adun, or that speed upgrade for those zealots. Nice job here by him. Perhaps an earlier advantage, as the expansion is going to finish a little bit sooner for Bisu worker wise. Both of them at the same working count as zealots, and those dragoons really are not going to allow that SCV to move here forward. So nice block by Bisu, not allowing Flash to see what's going on, but Flash could of course add an orbital command here, a scan, just to see exactly what Bisu is up to now. The first probes are getting transferred. Flash also with his expansion here, and yeah, like I told you, both players at the same work account, as the siege tanks also are nicely being defensively placed here just to encounter those dragoons. So really no early cheesy gameplay by both players playing really safe. We even have one turret. This turret of course very important in case Bisu decides to go for some invisible dark templars. So nice strategy here. 5 flash around the 5 minute and 30-second mark. He's of course preparing everything he can against an assault from Bisu. Bisu by the looks of it also playing it really safe. And we also have this hidden Templar archives here, so nice job by Bisu. Let's have a look. Is he going for some Dark Templars? Yes, indeed he is. So he might walk them straight towards the base from Bisu. I don't think he saw this one turret. Is there a turret into the main? There is no turret. So if he adds a shuttle, but is there a robotic bay? Oh, look at that, he has a robotics bay. So everything is nicely hidden for Bisu, as the first harassment could happen really quick. One DT is about to pop out from the gateway, and remember the main from Flash has no turret, but interesting enough, oh, he picks up another DT. So two DTs it is for Bisu. Let's have a look. Let's be just very careful here where exactly he's heading out with this one shuttle. I believe yes, the main should of course be the target, as Flash is now building an expansion, but he has no detection. He only has this turret right here, but into this location there could be some damage being dealt. Let's have a look. There is Flash nicely scouting this shuttle by Bisu, so he knows exactly what is happening. Some siege tanks will very likely know. They just stand their ground here, of course, just to have a vision. And in comes the drop. There is no visibility here for Flash, so taking quite some damage. Even the expansion is taking some damage out of those TTs. Bisu needs to of course be careful not to get into the range from those turrets. So really nice early harassment. One SCV has fallen, the turret has also been sniped. Bisu needs to be careful. This turret is about to be finished here, as the shuttle now takes quite some damage out of those marines. So Bisu a little bit sloppy here, and the turret has also been finished. So yeah, Bisu a little bit, hold on, he actually quite makes it here through another SCV. Needs to finish this turret as quickly as possible, but nice job by Bisu. He picks up, loses sadly for him, one DT and that shuttle. So Flash with a better reaction than Bisu. Perhaps Bisu was concerned into main, placing some units, making some more gateways. You have to of course micro those units and at the same time produce units. Really hard to execute, as the first absorber also makes his way through. And look at that, he also expanded. So while the harassment went on, he also did expand it. Flash of course is scouting as much as he can. Still one DT is being annoying, as he might cancel this one factory. Good job by Bisu. In the end, is scan available? Scan is indeed available, but he might walk into the range from the turret. So yeah, let's have a look at the next steps. No, Flash is actually scanning and he takes out the DT, and with this the harassment has stopped. A nice engineering bay for Flash, just to give him vision once again in case there is a shuttle coming. And Bisu, like I told you, expanding really nicely as we're closing at the 10-minute mark. So Flash nicely holding here. Bisu a little bit sloppy with his micro, but it happens of course. He was very likely busy into his main, continuing with his production, continuing even adding now an Arbiter bay with a starport and even more gateways. So indeed is going to be a gateway unit composition with Arbiters for Bisu versus a very likely mass mech army from Flash, tanks, vultures and goliaths, just like we know it from many Terrans versus the Protoss. Could also be done against Zergs, but it's more riskier. So yeah, worker wise, however, Bisu having 10 more workers, at least 12 more workers here than Flash. So Flash really needs to make something happen with those vultures. He really needs to attack. This way could be open. No, it's actually a dragoon here. This is also nicely blocked by Bisu. And yeah, Bisu is taking now some damage. This pylon could fall, but the reinforcements are coming in for him. So yeah, he places some mines and just retreats, of course, with speed being done for those vultures. They are really quick, but Bisu having so many units around his expansion. At the same time, we see more and more vultures pop out for Flash as he's going to move forward. Bisu also needs a observer really quick, and we have a nice interesting message here that a real battle is about to fall. We also see now Flash moving forward with a timing push at around 10-minute mark. There is an observer, so he sees the mines. There are the vultures nicely being placed in the front by the Terran, as he will protect those siege tanks in the back. Let's have a look at those upgrades. Still 0-0, but we see the one weapons upgrade now. Even SCVs repairing those tanks. Bisu is, of course, attacking this force slowly but steadily, but Flash is continuing with his turrets. He's also nicely dropping those zealot bombs just to allow those tanks to actually deal damage towards themselves with that splash damage. So really great counter here by Bisu against Flash. Notice that once again he's waiting for Flash to siege up, and as soon he's sieging up, he's going to drop those zealots just to deal that damage. But really a strong push by Flash against Bisu. And let's have a look how things will unfold. Bisu at the same time he's moving out with some nice group of dragoons here, 7 dragoons in the back. And this is really smart, just to engage those reinforcements in case there are reinforcements coming here for Flash. Of course they will be intercepted and also taking quite some damage. Look at that, those dragoons really making great damage still into the main expansion point. Bisu is nicely defending, however Flash just keeps moving forward. Bisu really needs that upgrade for those speed legs, and finally the Arbiter makes it through. Still those dragoons in the back. What a wise decision here by Bisu, as he's going to literally intercept all of those units, and in the back he just has some zealots to intercept here. He has this one Arbiter. Of course there is no anti-air for Flash. It's just a couple of zealots here dealing damage, but they will also soak up those mines towards the units from Flash. And look at that, just a small amount of the zealots here with some reinforcements are being able, of course, to take out those tanks, those dragoons in the back. Such a wise decision here by Bisu. If it wasn't for those dragoons, I believe those tanks being sieged up, being protected by the vultures, would have given Flash the early advantage, even the victory. Yeah, that was such a great strategic move here with Bisu, with his observer, with his dragoons. So nice defense by him. His economy also looking strong, but look at that, Flash already at 64 workers, as he also has taken the 6 o'clock position here. So nice job by both of them. Bisu also expanding here, just a couple of siege tanks around the map. Let's have a look, is he going to walk it here somehow through, but some zealots already here to intercept, take some damage out of those mines. Flash of course is trying to buy some time for him and for his units. And let's have a look, still the same army composition, mass tanks with vultures, and pretty soon I believe he's going to add some goliaths, as some arbiters are out on the map. So yeah, the tanks eventually will take quite some damage. Bisu really wishes to take care of them, and at the same time he wishes, of course, to protect his expansion in the upper left part. So more bases to be soon by Bisu, but more workers for Flash. As let's have a look when exactly Flash will decide to move once again out on the map. Also let's check those upgrades. Only one weapons upgrades, but more and more is being done. Let's have a look at Bisu, but hold on, we actually have a nice recall by Bisu straight into that 6 o'clock position. Really nice stuff. And this small ramp really bad for Flash, as he has to move those units forward. In the end this has to be cleared by him. He has a scan, but he might add a science vessels. There is another scan. Nice job here by Bisu, delaying that mining time, causing some economic damage, causing those scans to come out from Flash. So really great recall by him, even catching me by surprise. And there's this one science vessel, of course, much needed against the Arbiter, and Flash actually has to rebuild that command center as it has been sniped. So great pickup by Bisu against Flash. These 2 hurt tanks will return home just to get repaired, and now Flash also on the move out with those vultures. He will be, however, intercepted by those dragoons. So nice interception here by Bisu, not allowing those vultures to deal damage towards this base, but there were also some cannons. Yeah, really great stuff. Nice recall, even catching me by surprise by Bisu. Of course, recall really strong tool to have. Arbiters a must if you're a Protoss versus a Terran in the late game, as we are closing at the 15-minute mark. Actually, we're about to pass the 15-minute mark. Yeah, lots and lots of nice damage here towards the economy, but worker wise we see both of them at the same mortar count and even the same, almost the same supply. Finally, Bisu having 20 more supplies, and it looks like 50-minute attack. There was an interesting message from one observer, perhaps, as here one arbiter might once again try another recall against Flash. Let's have a look what exactly is going to happen, as vultures still out on the map, but they will be intercepted by Bisu, as Flash has now a very defensive position. He has those units scattered all over the map. We also see him adding so many mines, so in case a recall is coming, of course massive amounts of splash damage will be dealt towards Bisu. This location is not really that much mined. We also see just a couple of mines, as Bisu just keeps continuing clearing those mines. He might regroup in the middle of the map. Actually has now 3 arbiters and so many dragoons. Some zealots will be added. Yes, indeed, there they are. Let's check those upgrades really quick. 1 weapons upgrades only for him, and those tanks should be 1 to 2, if I believe. Yes, indeed. So 1 to 2 Flash giving much more importance towards his upgrades. However, the economy once again for the Protoss looking really strong. Worker wise still at the same count like I told you, but Flash falling behind in supply, so he really needs to make something happen. I'm sure that he has scanned this location. He even has a mine here. But yeah, Bisu now maxed out, moving out on the map. Flash with better upgrades, with a better position. I believe, of course, it would be a suicide here for Bisu to walk here through. So he might once again try a recall. Like I told you, this is so nicely being mined out by Flash. So Bisu still guessing, of course, where exactly he might do a drop. This would be a nice position, not that many mines for him. Lots of turrets though. Those tanks are so nicely being positioned, but Bisu just decides, you know what, I'm just going to be expanding all over the map. He has units all over the map. Prepares his expansions, as Flash really staying here at home, turtling up as we're closing at a 20-minute mark. But hold on, Flash is actually unsieging now. And is this going to be a move out? We have the 17-minute mark with 20 seconds. Let's have a look. Flash at 180 supply, and we have the one arbiter. Bisu is not having the whole army here. He needs to regroup, he needs to be careful. Same can be said for Flash. He needs to also siege up, and a nice EMP by Flash. Of course, EMP really strong against those arbiters, against the Protoss shields, as did Bisu responding with the same amount of those stasis traps. So EMP versus stasis trap, it is going to be for both players, even guarding shield onto those on tank. So yeah, both players are really careful, of course, respecting each other. Especially Bisu has to respect the amount of tanks here from Flash. Really strong, and those vultures, a couple of goliaths, of course, against arbiters. So I believe Bisu is going to wait for a move out by Flash, and at the same time he will try to find, of course, a better position. He will try to surround the army from Flash. Sadly for him, his observer has been taken out. He needs to be really careful what exactly the next moves are going to be. Flash once again unsieging. Notice that he's not walking towards this main expansion point. He might target the newer bases from Bisu, like this one and this one. Let's have a look what exactly his plans are going to be. But as I say, this another recall, however, straight into those mines. So many dragoons will fall here early on for Bisu. So yeah, those mines proving really strong for Flash. Even left a couple of tanks here just to deal the job. So yeah, mines it is indeed. If you're a Terran versus a Protoss, just keep on mining your expansions. And let's have a look at Flash once again, as Bisu this time decides to retreat, so leaves his units behind. He has, of course, lost some workers, and not workers, some units, but in the end, of course, his economy is going to be really strong. However, Flash is not going to be impressed by that. He just keeps pushing forward. It is almost the 20-minute mark. He did held that recall really quick, but he knows that Bisu just has bases all over the map, so he has something. He needs to be making something, and interesting enough, he's heading straight towards the main point, mining this ledge, and at the same time casting those guarding shields onto those siege tanks, taking quite some damage, dealing great splash damage towards Bisu here. Bisu not having any zealots, so it's really a bad position for him. Only the zealots do come in here through, but sadly for him, the timing wasn't that good. So Flash with a really strong engagement. Stasis traps were really strong by Bisu, but in the end those tanks I believe they could even be 3. Yes, indeed, 2 to 3 weapons upgrades. So it's plus 9 damage for Flash. Really, Flash with those strong stacks, strong tanks and upgrades. Really dealing so much damage towards Bisu here. EMP once again, and those Arbiters have no energy. And look at that, Flash is actually splitting here his troops. He allows some units to be left behind at the same time, so he's just multitasking here. Really hard to execute, just to spread those units all over the map, just dealing so much amounts of damage towards his opponent. Look at that, those tanks here into this location, reinforcements from the back, reinforcements here attacking this base. Flash, of course, has to make something happen. If this game would have continued, so much more damage would have been dealt here towards him, and now the workers from Bisu are taking quite some damage. And sadly for Bisu, these workers a little bit badly microed, will also fall. So Bisu, perhaps in a little bit of a panic move, he's trying to come back with a recall. He's trying to attack, of course, the expansion from Flash, but Flash even having some units here, just those 3 tanks would be enough. And remember, the Lagoons have already taken damage out of those Vulture mines, so really nice stuff. All of a sudden, Flash into a leading position towards Bisu, clearing those bases. Even this base will also be cleared, and the third one as well. So all of a sudden, in a small amount of minutes, around 2 minutes, Flash being able to kill 3 expansions, losing this one here, but he can of course rebuild, as he's also taking the middle of the map. So of course the middle of the map really important here for Flash. Flash just keeps on moving on, he keeps on adding those vultures. Let's have a look what his next targets are going to be. Bisu responding nicely with so many gateway units once again. This could have been also a nice strategic attack point, but they might meet once again in the middle of the map. Flash is having a great position, his vultures are nicely in the front. Bisu has to retreat. And let's have a look. Bisu is of course going to try to take the middle of the map. It's going to be very hard to execute, but his units are a little bit more mobile, and given the fact that he has also recall, would also benefit him really nicely. But those vultures, let's not forget, they're really fast, but they need that science vessel to have detection. So yeah, here we go, nice engagement. Bisu, interesting enough, he decides to attack here, decides to stay. He's casting those stasis trap, but of course the army from Flash is really overwhelming, being here into his favor. Those tanks really dealing so much amounts of splash damage against those gateway units. So perhaps Bisu could somehow go into a carrier build. It would be interesting to see, as we have a recall by Bisu just defending this base. Base, however, has taken quite some damage. In the end, Bisu will hold, but the reinforcements, already see them here pouring out on the middle of the map by Flash. So yeah, Flash just keeps on moving forward and also securing his expansions. Nice EMP, just catching everyone here off guard. So Bisu has to retreat. Of course, all of his units have no shields. Really perfect EMP by Flash, nicely executed. In the meantime, Bisu tries to come in from all sides, tries to surround Flash. But those tanks are really great for defense. And yeah, let's have a look at the next steps by these players. Of course, Bisu now really tries to attack, tries to take out somehow this expansion. This one's also being mined once again, and many more workers for Flash against Bisu. It's 16-17 more workers here for him. So yeah, Bisu really has to, like I told you, it might be an interesting idea for him to go into carriers. It could be a possibility, because they're not that much anti-air for Flash. It's just a couple of Goliaths, but yeah, in the end the Terran could, of course, given the fact that he has a stronger economy, come back. And once again a recall with a smaller group of units, but straight into those mines. Bisu really trying to hurt Flash's economy as much as he can, and Flash just staying here into this location. He knows how important the middle of the map is, having his mines all over the place, and at the same time, once again, a small group consisted by siege tanks and just a couple of Goliaths against those Arbiters. We do have an DT, but it will be of course scouted with this one science vessel. So yeah, Flash making his way forward. Hold on, we see a huge engagement in the middle of the map. Bisu is coming in with his Arbiters, with his Zealots. The tanks, however, so nicely being positioned in the back, as the units from Bisu can't even make it here through. Those ledges were really small. And yeah, Bisu just has to retreat. At the same time, his expansion once again is taking damage, pretty much exposed here. There are no defenses here. Bisu might try a recall. Scan goes out, of course, against DTs. Bisu brings his reinforcements, but his probes will once again suffer against those goliaths. So yeah, interesting stuff here by Flash with his multitask. Of course, his units might fall, but the damage has already been done. Great stasis trap though, so this base will be saved. But those goliaths just keep on sniping worker after worker. We have 28 workers now. Bisu versus Flash, as in the end the dragoons will of course take care of those units. And yeah, luckily here for Bisu, at least this base is being left alive, as he will clear those tanks with those vultures. Really nice stuff. Great EMP. So yeah, the science vessel says goodbye, but before that he's just going to EMP, and once again he tried to EMP, but Bisu nicely microing those units. Really great micro by both players. Even one Archon now makes his way through. Archon with splash damage, really strong. But this position by Flash, look at that, so nicely being attached here next to those mineral lines, just giving such a hard move for Bisu to walk forward. And really so many more units all of a sudden here for Flash. He has 50 more supply than his opponent. His economy also really much stronger. So what a great game number one we have, as Bisu once again tries to inflict damage with a better recall this time into this location. Not that many mines for Flash. 2 siege tanks, however, still dealing damage against those units. Reinforcements do pour in, but no, Flash actually understands that he doesn't really need that many reinforcements, so he might change tactics. Yes, indeed, I see him move out on the map into the left corner straight, so he feels like he has enough defenses against Bisu here. Of course, his expansion is suffering, but he's dealing the same amount of attack towards Bisu. And yeah, there might be a recall with his probes for him. There are some goliaths, nice stasis trap, so Bisu leaves those arbiters behind just to defend. This expansion is not mining, of course, but in the end so many more units are being added by Flash, and we have actually a recall. So really nice defense here by Bisu with mass zealots. It is great stasis trap. The ramp is pretty much blocked, but let's have a look if Flash somehow has enough. So many units from him are being stasis trapped, but yes, indeed, Flash does have enough. Does a great scan and is able to kill that amount of units from Bisu. And Bisu now in serious trouble, as his workers will fall. Once again, he's going to fall below 30 workers. The expansion is also being taken out. Some units are being left behind here, but Flash has the middle of the map, which is nicely being guarded by those tanks. And in the end, once again, the command center comes back just to mine this location. So really great stuff. Bisu once again tries to move forward with a quite small group. It's kind of a desperate move by Bisu. Suicide move by him, suiciding some of those zealots perhaps just to make it here through. More and more units are being added. But really such a hard game for Bisu, as he has to retreat, he has to wait for those zealots. Flash actually leaving a small group behind. He knows he has the advantage now. He very likely has scanned all the other locations, so only this base is now mining for Bisu. This one also nicely being defended by a SCV here. So really great strategic moves by Flash. And let's have a look at the next steps. Is Bisu somehow going to make a miracle happen here? Flash has the double amount of supply against Bisu. Is Bisu somehow going to make it happen? Interesting enough, Flash brings some units back. He's expecting a recall, and no such thing. So yeah, I was actually pretty sure that there will be a recall here. 2 to 3 weapons. Let's check the upgrades here for Bisu. Notice he's not going for any armor or any Protoss shields, straight into attack. And yeah, Flash just having this great amount of army, 2 great armies here for him versus just a small amount of the great flank now this time by Flash. This is going to be dealing once again so much damage towards the units from Bisu. Bisu perhaps also preparing a recall, as zealots will take quite some damage even out of those mines. Bisu really wants to retake this base. Going to take so much damage before, so Bisu still has to find a way and a strategy somehow to come back. It's really hard for him. Base here almost being mined out, nicely being defended by Flash. Almost impossible to break here through. But Flash in this meantime only has those bases. This one has been mined out. Of course the natural and the main has been mined out, so pretty much makes it here through just with the middle of the map. And just with this base here at the 6 o'clock position, so somehow Bisu still tries to find, of course, a good position. He's roaming around into this sector, having this one expansion up, so at least he can defend this expansion. But I'm pretty sure that Flash is not going to stay much longer. He's just going to move out, given the fact that this base is being mined out. Almost he could actually even unsiege those units. Hold on, we have a huge move out now here by Flash. Very sure he has scanned this location, so we of course know he has something, make something happen. He's moving forward, his vultures are nicely in the front, EMP has been casted, catching this one arbiter, zealots are also in the front, but a nice sense vessel by Flash, giving him vision so he can move forward. Still so many tanks by Flash, vultures once again in the front, zealots are also in the front. They try of course to deal that splash damage out of those siege tanks towards those units, but so much more here for Flash. And yes, indeed, Bisu just has to leave the game. Flash with some great strategic games here, strategic moves, giving him the victory. Crazy one game, 31 minutes and 23 seconds. Let's just jump straight into game number 2. We're back with game number 2 in between Bisu and Flash. Flash currently leading 1-0 against Bisu. Bisu spawning here in the upper right part once again as the purple Protoss, and Flash in the lower left as the orange Terran. So really nice first game, a 30-minute game, really great strategic decisions by Flash. Flash's mechanical build order proving to be much stronger than the gateway push unit build order with this arbiter from Bisu. And yeah, let's have a look what the next steps are going to be. Perhaps Bisu is going to try a different strategy against Flash this time. Let's have a look what exactly is he going to be doing, as both players are spawning once again on the 4 spawning location map. We can also see the STL logo and the mini map. And yeah, Flash pretty ordinary, open up once again with a supply depot, and Bisu also ordinary, placing his pylon here into the next proximity of his base. Yeah, the pretty standard stuff. Bisu not deciding to be cheesy, not deciding to attack early with a gateway push, and yes, even his gateway here being set at his own home base. So yeah, also is very likely going to continue with a barracks, but yeah, in the end, like many Terrans, like we've seen him in game number 1, he's going to transition into mechanical build orders. I'm pretty sure of it, or he might try something crazy, mass marines early on. Could be a interesting strategy, as we also see now gas being produced, so gateway into gas for Bisu, and Flash also barracks into gas for him. So yeah, the pretty standard open up. Let's just have a look at them, the minute mark, when exactly both players will decide to move out on the map to scout. Looks like the first SCV is making it out. Bisu not yet ready for this, as he's continuing with a cybernetics course. Of course, dragoons early on really strong for the Protoss, especially with that range upgrade. First scouting SCV is out, another pylon has been added by Bisu. A pretty normal build order by both players, as a factory should of course be continued here by Flash, and indeed he's might adding here another building. He adds another supply depot, perhaps just to make it difficult here for Bisu to move out. And Bisu also sending a zealot out with a rope. So interesting enough, he does go into one zealot. There's that upgrade for that range for those dragoons. Flash, sadly for him, really bad scouting, but in the end I'm sure you're going to find out where Bisu is hiding. Now the first marine is also out for him, and let's have a look when exactly he actually gets intercepted by a zealot here. But Flash is going now finally into the right direction, and Bisu still doesn't know where exactly Flash is hiding. Really difficult early scouting by both players. Flash still continues Scouting Odyssey here. Marines are out. The first Vulture should of course be made, just in case I'm missing something. Here in the upper left part you can see the production tab. The add-on is being done almost for Flash. Flash is still continuing to scout the map. He didn't scout the main yet from Bisu. Let's have a look what exactly his plans are. Perhaps he's waiting for his Vultures as 4 Marines do move out. Perhaps just to secure the proximity, but it's a nice push by Bisu early on. With 1 Zealot, with 1 Dragoon, those Marines are pretty much exposed. More and more Marines are being added. That's nice micro by Flash. Even out microing this 1 Zealot and the Dragoon, so really nice stuff by him, as finally his SCV also makes it here into the main. And yeah, Dragoon with range upgrade of course could out micro those Marines, so Flash needs to be careful. At the next steps, perhaps another, yes indeed, another Dragoon is coming out, so Flash might want to add a bunker. It's not that many Dragoons for Bisu, so Flash could have the advantage here. Let's have a look, 1 Marine finally gets dropped, and in the end other more taking damage. So finally range has been done for those Dragoons, as now Bisu might have the advantage, but there is a tank with also nice range, so has to respect that as he's roaming around with his herd Dragoons. Meantime, SCV gets chased away and killed as Bisu also decides to take his expansion. The same can be said here for... so the 5-minute mark looks like the expansion time for both players. Finally things have settled down, Vultures have been added. No speed has been done yet for them, but Vultures of course nicely used defensively here by Flash, and the Dragoons will now settle also into a nice defensive position. And that's a main from Bisu as he's adding more gateway units. Once again a shuttle, so we might see a DT push, or he could even add this shuttle with some Dragoons early on. It would be an interesting decision. Let's have a look. Is he going to hide something here into this location? In the meantime, some mines have been placed. Bisu nicely killing those mines with a nice move. And there is a robotics base, so we might see some reverse by Bisu. Will be an interesting move, and this time actually Flash is really faster with his second expansion than Bisu, so even moving out with his 1 tank, with his Marines, with his Vultures, but he needs to be careful of course against those Dragoons. And Bisu really outstanding micro here, just killing those mines. Really nice stuff by him, as Flash is also mining this expansion point, knowing that Bisu has no observer, but who needs observers when you have Dragoons? And Bisu of course controlling them. Really great stuff by him. And probe has been sniped, and more and more mines have been laid down by really annoying stuff by Flash. Not only that he's scouting, but he was also adding mines. And finally the observatory is being finished, so the first observer will pop out really soon. So in all this time while the harassment has went on into Bisu's base, Flash decides to expand both players pretty much at the same worker account. And the mine is really nicely giving him vision. He has to actually wait for an observer here to clear this out. He's not able to make his nexus here, so nice stuff by Flash. Great mind games by him, allowing him to have some time. So the first observer will head straight towards this location. Flash has to clear this out. Sorry, Bisu has to clear it out really soon. Yeah, what a good job here by Flash, giving him that economic advantage, that timing advantage. Of course, he's going to be adding some turrets against Bisu, just in case some Dark Templars will make their way through. So yeah, Flash now establishing his defenses, producing more and more workers. And look at that, we have a nice drop here, completely missed here by me, so sorry. We have Bisu with a drop, but a really pretty much failed drop by him. Sadly move here by him, as Flash was ready for that. With this 1 turret, having those defenses up. Nice defenses here by Flash, as yeah, things have settled down. Bisu is also taking this expansion once again. Still no major engagement. Bisu trying of course to be annoying with that shuttle, with that Reaver, but getting punished by Flash immediately. And he even adds more and more constructions. Let's see, more and more supply depots for him. As Dragoons it is for Bisu. And like I told you, let's see, is he once again going into mass gateway units? The looks of it, yes indeed he is. He might add an Arbiter bay Actually, there is a starport, so let's see that Arbiter Bay really soon by him. Actually, is another Stargate. So this time we might see him go into something different. Yes, he needed a Protoss fleet beacon, so he decides to go 4 carriers against Flash. And let's have a look how Flash is going to react to that. When exactly will he know? When exactly will that scan go out? Because usually you just scan the main, right? But Bisu with a nice hidden lead beacon, he could have hidden it even into this location. So yeah, as soon as Flash will pop out those Goliaths, he will of course know. Currently no such thing as Goliaths, as he's still going heavy into tanks and vultures. Still having those expansion nicely guarded by those mines. And those tanks and those vultures really great job as we're closing at the 10-minute mark. So this time Bisu with a complete different strategy, he decides to go 4 carriers. So what a nice move. Of course it takes some time for those carriers to be built, but as soon as you reach a critical mass of 4 to 6 carriers, you would be really strong, as Bisu also has taken this expansion here and this one as well, and by the looks of it he's also preparing to take the expansion into the upper left part. Speed is about to be done here by Flash, so really slow speed for the vultures, a slow timing of course, slow timing speed for those vultures. And yeah, let's have a look at the next steps by Flash. It would be really interesting to see when exactly he will know about those Stargates, about those carriers. Scan should be available. No, hold on, it's just making scan now. So pretty much Flash is expecting of course once again a mass gateway push, but be something different. We see once again Bisu move out with mass zealots into this one shuttle. And yeah, Flash, as soon as that orbital command is going to be finished, is going to of course scan here the main. Very likely is going to scan the main. There it is, a great scan by him, anticipating this move by Bisu. Now he pretty much knows there was another scan available here, so as soon as he knows this, he should of course go straight into mass Goliath production. Let's check those upgrades, still 0 to 0 for him. Let's check Bisu, also 0-0 as we have passed the 10-minute mark. So the 2 first carriers are out, so curious it is for Bisu. Is this going to work out, as he's also going for his weapons upgrades 1? And Flash, what exactly is he going to be doing? Of course mass Goliaths it should be, or he could go into starports with Valkyries, would be really interesting to see. Race will also be interesting to see. Bisu will also have to add some observers of course against this. Now Bisu already feeling really confident with his carriers. Like I told you, 4 carriers, even 6 would be the critical attack mass for the Protoss. But hold on, we actually see now Flash moving out with his vultures. Really interesting, a little bit on a suicide mission, as Bisu is nicely blocking the entrance and also establishing his defenses here in the upper left part, where Flash once again is going to buy himself a little bit of time with those mines, just mining as much as he can here in the middle of the map. And still I don't see any Goliaths for him. This is really interesting. So now he's finally going for that research. Or perhaps he just needed that armory for those Goliaths, as he should also add a interesting dropship here by him. So yeah, let's have a look what his plans are. Still no Goliaths, just mass vultures, as the carriers are now moving forward. 2 carriers. Bisu feels really confident. So Flash just has to add more and more turrets here against Bisu, as Goliaths aren't available yet. And in come the first 2 carriers. More and more of course are being produced, and we actually see Flash with a small move out with that 1 dropship with a tank and a vulture. Let's have a look what this tank and this vulture can be doing here, as there is a cannon. Really bold move out by Flash. Yeah, the first Goliaths, there they are. Let's have a look at this small unit composition, perhaps just to buy some time, perhaps just to cripple a little bit the economy from Bisu. And yeah, Bisu just waits for those reinforcements, waits for those carriers. It's 4 carriers now at the 30-minute mark. Really strong stuff for Bisu now. And Flash just tries of course to just move out, to just kill as many workers as he can, to just force perhaps a move back by the Protoss. But Bisu thinking about is of course nicely walling in with 2 pylons and zealots, and they're just pretty much closing the door. But yeah, that move out with these vultures was really smart by Flash. This is going to force a little bit of a retreat by Bisu. Look at that, Bisu just has to come back, just has to regroup his units, and at the same time they still not deciding to attack here. Or perhaps he's just waiting for more and more workers to be added, or perhaps he just forgot about this small task force, as Bisu now looking like he's going to move out. And yeah, the army looking really scary here for Flash. Mass tanks with vultures, with goliaths, indeed it is. Now finally we see that move out by Flash. But if he just waited for those units, for more and more probes to be built, now he's going to siege up here, and he actually shows us how important it is for just a small group of units, just a vulture and a siege tank. Look at that, how much chaos they can produce here against the Protoss. Not only that, but he's actually forcing here Bisu to come back, and is he lucky, he might even had to snipe this one Nexus. But yeah, Bisu now finally bringing his zealot here, but he also has to bring those carriers, as Bisu might have feared a all-in strategy by Flash here, a stronger push. Flash is now taking the middle of the map, really scary army. Let's check those upgrades really quick. Once again, he's going for 1-1. Was one weapons upgrades, air upgrades for Bisu. And yeah, really strong stuff here by both players, as Flash is now feeling really confident. He's moving forward with his tanks, with his goliaths, with his vultures. Let's have a look at the answer by Bisu. Where are those carriers? Really many carriers, and somehow they need, of course, to take out those goliaths. In the meantime, Flash just keeps pushing forward. He will of course obliterate all of those dragoons, but there's just so many carriers, and let's have a look. Does Flash have enough goliaths for this? So many goliaths, of course, targeting first those interceptors just to deal economic damage, just force Bisu into a retreat, and just to reproduce so many more interceptors. Really many goliaths for Flash as he's moving forward. 1-1 weapons upgrades it was for him, actually it's 2 now. So yeah, Flash really giving so much importance. In the meantime, those dragoons nicely once again strategically placed by Bisu in the middle of the map, not allowing any reinforcements to come in, and Bisu now being able to target those tanks. But his main, actually his expansion is taking so much damage, but there's really so many goliaths, carriers here taking care of those tanks. So Flash has to slowly but steadily retreat. There's even a DT here having fun with those goliaths. And yeah, Flash on the retreat, but the damage has already been done. He has cleared pretty much all of those probes there, and he has sniped on expansion. However, nice flank by Bisu, as he's really having so many carriers here, even close to 10 carriers, so pushing Flash back. Flash all of a sudden at the same amount of supply, just like Bisu, and more reinforcements are pouring in. This base is still mining nicely here for Flash, but more and more units are being lost for him, as Bisu is just finding a better position for those carriers just to reproduce the interceptors. Notice there is no observer here, so in case Flash could have went for some race, it could have been really interesting to see carriers. Same time, once again we have a nice dropship harassment by Flash. So Flash once again multitasking against Bisu really nicely. Bisu dropping into worker count, and now the dropship has been cleared, so but more and more workers are falling here as well. Bisu tries of course to counter the expansion from Flash, but Flash is ready for this with his goliaths, with his tanks, also having goliaths here into this location. So yeah, Bisu a little bit more mobile with his carriers. But yeah, let's have a look. Flash really strong economy by him, but not that much gas, so much minerals for him, but he needs of course much more gas for those goliaths and for those siege tanks. Let's have a look at the next moves now. A nice flank once again by Bisu. This is going to attack those vultures. Well, those vultures are really fast. There are DTs on the ground, there are observers, but those vultures are really fast for him, and Flash just keeps on moving here forward, keeps on sniping more and more units, but also losing those vultures. And yeah, Flash now has to come back at home just to defend. Let's have a look what the next move from Bisu is going to be. Is he actually going into mass carriers? He needs of course some backup, he needs some dragoons just to protect those carriers, and in comes Bisu with literally a very strong number of carriers against Flash. How is Flash going to react? Of course, mass goliaths it is. 2-2-2 it is for those upgrades. And yeah, Bisu just waiting here, just waiting for that interceptor count to go higher and higher. as he's now moving forward. This one lone SCVs will spot this literally mass goliaths for Flash against Bisu, and yeah, Bisu having a nice spot for those carriers. Of course they won't be targeted, but in the end Flash just is going to be sniping so many more interceptors. Notice how nicely Bisu is migrating those carriers, just attacking one Goliath after the other slowly but steadily, but also losing quite some interceptors, so he has to retreat once again. In the meantime, Flash once again moves out with those vultures, trying to cripple of course the economy as much as he can from Bisu. Bisu once again is going to lose a couple of ropes, has to rebuild the interceptors. Yeah, Flash pretty much holds, and he can also nicely defend his expansion, also adding some turrets here into this expansion point. And let's have a look what exactly he's going to be doing next as we're closing at the 20-minute mark. We really have a very interesting game this time. Bisu deciding to go for mass Goliaths. Let's see if this is going to work out. Flash responding of course with mass, sorry, Bisu having mass carriers and Flash with mass Goliaths. This could be a bad spot for Bisu. He's not that much protected. Of course, he has added some dragoons, and this one Archon really strong against all of those Goliaths. So Flash on the retreat this time. Dragoons and Archons really strong against him. Flash tries to find the high ground, tries to help from those siege tanks. And let's have a look what exactly is going to be happening here as those carriers are really nicely attacking forces from Flash. But in the end, once again, Bisu has to retreat. He has to respect the amount of tanks and Goliaths, and even the reinforcements now pouring in for Flash or Issy. Bisu also splitting his troops, trying to intercept the reinforcements from Flash, killing unit after unit, really nicely executed. So yeah, Flash also has to protect the main, but he also has to protect the expansion here. Really strategic importance. See the lower left part from the map. Bisu of course knows this, and let's have a look at his next decisions. Master is also being added by just to kill as many interceptors as possible. And yeah, let's have a look when exactly Flash looking like he's going to regroup in the middle of the map. Bisu is on an intercepting move. He's going for those SCVs, and once again Bisu attacking this time those tanks one by after the other, and then he will follow up with the Goliaths. But the reinforcements are nicely pouring in by Flash, tanks and Goliaths. It is Dragoons versus those Goliaths. The siege tanks only now are sieging up. The Dragoons will of course fall. So yeah, really great stuff by Flash defending here really nicely, taking out some interceptors. But remember, the carriers have been touched yet by Flash. It's just interceptors rippling the economy from Bisu as much as he can. Flash also with 20 more workers than his opponent, looking really strong, having those turrets up, so much important for him. As Bisu once again is attacking, notice he doesn't really have that many interceptors, even though there's so many carriers. But yeah, he's trying of course to find a good position for those carriers. And Flash on the retreat this time, but this one expansion could be taken out, so it just shows us Bisu being much more mobile than his ground forces of Flash. He even might take out his Goliath, so it would be nice for him to just take out Goliath after Goliath, and this is exactly what he's trying to be doing now. Not that many forces for Flash here, so he needs to be careful. Carriers stay in position. Flash tries to kill those interceptors as much as he can. At the same time, Flash is moving forward, feels confident, he feels like he has enough to defend. Aren't that really many interceptors being left? So Flash just forces here Bisu to come back, but Bisu is not going to commit. He wishes to take out this expansion at any cost, so nice job by Bisu, now finally showing us the strength of all of those carriers. Flash is now moving forward. There are some defenses here, they've been taken out. There was a high templar here with Siren Storm, could have dealt quite some damage. Reinforcements are coming in for Flash as this one expansion has been taken out, but Flash once again on a multitask, moving here forward, pretty much wishing to destroy the economy from Bisu, as Bisu has to retreat his forces. Let's have a look at those carriers. They might get interceptors out of those lights, but yeah, Bisu nicely microing those carriers out of danger. Really great stuff, as the forces from Flash once again are split around the map, but the damage has already been done. 2 bases have fallen for Bisu. Flash also lost 1 basis, and let's have a look at the worker count. Flash still having more workers than his opponent Bisu here. And yeah, let's have a look. The reinforcements are pouring in. Bisu needs to regroup. somehow still the carriers haven't been touched, and yeah, the upgrades are really nice for Flash once again, just like in game number 1. Let's have a look what the next target from Flash is going to be, as Bisu still roaming around with his carriers. Some units sadly exposed by Flash, so he's going to lose those units sadly one after the other. Let's have a look if he somehow can find a good position to intercept those carriers. He's just sadly going to lose these DTs, casual DTs on the ground, just dealing so much damage. And those storms also really good at defending against those units. Flash is sieging up, one Archon is being morphed, and yeah, the carriers once again are not being touched here. They can't be touched as they're into the fog of war. And yeah, the Goliaths will take out, of course, interceptor after interceptor, but Bisu looks like he's going for those tanks. Oh, he's actually targeting now Goliath after Goliath. One carrier also dropping really low, but Bisu, outstanding micro by him. He leaves the tanks alive, but he's just kiting the carriers nicely back and forth, and Flash is leaving the game. What a crazy game indeed. Bisu just showing us the strengths out of those carriers, and not only that, but those Dark Templars really important for him, as there wasn't any scan available, there was no science vessel. So yeah, Bisu takes game number 2. It is now 1-1. Let's just jump straight into game number 3. And we're back with game number 3, this time on match point 1-1. It is the series in between these two pro players, STL 2016 Grand Final, in between Bisu and Flash. Sorry, this time Flash starting to spawn at the yellow Terran here in the lower left part of match point, and in the upper right part it is Bisu in the brown. And look at that, we see a very early, I don't think this is going to be a scout by Bisu. Might be some cheesy gameplay here by him. Interesting stuff. After he won game number 2, so score is 1-1, he feels now really confident just to be cheesy, and I'm pretty sure he's going to add somewhere a pylon here next to the proximity for Flash. Not even the 1 minute mark, as Bisu already moving out on the map. Flash also preparing here his wall in. I believe he's can wall in into this location with a supply depot, with a barracks, and there it is. There's the first pylon by Bisu, so it's very likely going to continue with some gateway. Going to be adding some zealots, even dragoons later on. Let's have a look how these things will unfold and how is Flash going to be reacting to that. Of course, this gap is really small for him, and he might have a advantage here onto this map. The first probe is moving out, gateway is being also produced. Let's have a look. The probe, of course, wishing take out a SCV or 2, as another SCV is being pulled by Flash. I believe that Flash is sensing that something out of the ordinary is happening. Somehow he glitches this SCV through, he's attacking the probe. Really great stuff by Flash. Let's have a look, is he going to somehow detect gateway by Protoss, by Bisu? He's of course just roaming around waiting for that shield to come back. And let's have a look, is Flash going to commit? He still has no idea what is happening, still has no idea that there is a gateway next to him being built. Of course, Bisu tries to find as much time as he can. Now he could attack the SCV, and pretty soon Flash is going to have a surprise. He's still not scouting that location, and yeah, the barracks is about to be finished, but nice time being bought here by Bisu, and now finally Flash knows. So his SCV has moved out, he sees the gateway. No units yet being produced by Bisu. Interesting enough. So look at his reaction as the first win will of course pop out really soon. There is a cybernetic score, so we might even see him go straight into dragoons after this. He's moving out straight towards the base from Bisu. And let's have a look what this one zealot can do against this wall in the marine could of course nicely kite back here forward, so base would be secured, so a zealot wouldn't quite do it, so he has to wait of course for the first dragoons to pop out. And even gas is being mined, so he could actually go for that range. And the first dragoon is also being produced, zealot is out, but of course the zealot has no chance against this in by Flash, and the factory is also almost being done by Flash versus Bisu. Yeah, let's have a look at the next steps. Bisu still waits here, is not going to attack, waits for that dragoon. Nicely placed, a bunker in the front. Flash looking really confident, but that position here from Bisu Will of course delay the expansion as much as he can from Flash. The bunker finishes exactly on time. The Marine is taking quite some damage already, but they are now protected into this one bunker. And yeah, Flash really holding really nicely here against Bisu. Another Dragoon is being made. Notice that there is also range being upgraded, but it will take quite some time for that range to be made, as Flash is already going for his first tank, and he's going for mines, interesting enough, not for siege tank ability. Let's have a look what exactly is going to be happening. He uploaded this one barracks. He even feels confident to make room for a move out, as it would be really hard for the Protoss to walk here through. And yeah, Flash also starting to explore the map. Another gateway is being produced, Citadel of Adun for Bisu. And yet first tank is out. Let's have a look. He just perhaps is going to straight siege up or just straight move out just to kill this one zealot we're about to find. Yes, indeed, Flash feels really confident. He has so many Marines. He has 5 Marines, 1 tank, 2 Dragoons, however, for Bisu, so he needs to be careful as more and more Dragoons would have been produced. The pylon is pretty much going to fall really soon, as another Dragoon is following up here, so Flash could be surrounded. Of course, the tank will be the first target. Actually, some Marines will fall here first for Flash. Flash pretty much on the retreat, waits perhaps for his second tank. It is that second, and the bunker also dealing so much damage. Dragoons from Bisu. Tank has also been sniped. Okay, 1 Dragoon also with damage, as Bisu is now expanding here into this location. Also adding a Templar archive, so we might see some Dark Templars really soon. This one sadly here for Bisu was unpowered. This could have been really strong by Bisu, but there were no detection here for Flash. So sadly for Bisu, he did lose this one pylon. This one pylon would have been left alive. He could have dealt so much damage with the first DT move out, as there would have been literally no detection by Flash against this. So such an unlucky move by Bisu. Literally no turrets, no scan. It could have even been the winning move here if this one pylon would have been left alive. Really unlucky Bisu here. Flash proving with his courage that the snipe of that pylon kept him here into this game. There is still 1 DT to be pop out really soon, but Flash knows of course all the timings, all the pushes. Is he going to react with some defenses? Still no detection, still no turret, no engineering bay, as he's now moving forward, but he will be intercepted really soon by a Dark Templar from Bisu. Let's have a look how exactly is he going to be dealing with this one, as there is literally no detection. Expansion is also being produced. Oh, he's actually going for no science vessels at all. What exactly is he going to be doing? He might be in some serious trouble, as this one DT is just going to snap this one SCV. The expansion luckily here for Flash buys him some time, as the Vultures are also retreating with some mines. And look at that, great pick out by Flash. Actually his mine is killing this one first DT. In comes the second DT, but it will take quite some time for this DT to make it here through, and even he will take some damage out of those mines. So Vultures once again proving the winning move for any Terran into a defense against the Protoss. Still no engineering bay here for the Terran, and yeah, Protoss, the Bisu is not going to really engage into this. He knows of course there's so many mines for Flash, as Flash now feels confident. He still has this one dropship, so this could be really deadly against these units from Bisu, and against the main, of course, the main not really that much protected. In comes Flash with a nice move with his dropship, with his Vultures. He could deal so much damage. There's also a dropship for Bisu. But yeah, in come those Vultures, so mines will be placed nicely here. Really great stuff here by Flash, and pretty soon he's going to be continuing with the killing of those probes. So yeah, let's have a look at the work count here from Bisu. Bisu at 38, so dropping of course really low, 36. Some just have been killed, and Bisu just has to wait for those observers to pop out. Lots and lots of mining time once again delayed by Flash, so small group of Vultures with a dropship really causing chaos once again against the Terran. Now let's have a look at the answer from Bisu. He's moving out with 1 DT. The second DT could also pop into this And there is a scan actually available this time for Flash, but there aren't that many mines here being laid down by him. Have a look. Can Bisu come back? And there is actually a race here by Flash, so Flash just patrolling the proximity with a race. Scan is out, so the DT will very likely fall, or is he going to make it? No. Bisu deciding to also go for the second expansion, but the race is already here to attack. So yeah, nice scan once again. Race has dealing the damage towards that shuttle, and the DTs have fallen here as well. So Flash with a great defense, also dealing some amounts of damage into the economy, but still the same worker count for both of them. So really interesting series, interesting game number 3. Remember, it is 1-1 currently. Such a great series we have here in between these two pro players. And look at the next move. Flash feels really confident to move out on the map. Let's have a look. Is he going to attack here? Not that many zealots available for Bisu, just dragoons and some DPs. There is, however, no detection. It's just scan available for Flash, and there it is. Nice scan, immediately taking out this one DT. And Bisu is now being confident to attack with those ranged dragoons against Flash, trying to take out those moves. But Flash is adding this one dropship. He might even micro those units as he just keeps moving more and more forward with his tanks. But he loses marine after marine, and even this one dropship is going to get killed. So Flash a little bit sloppy move here by him. Lays some mine defensively. At the same time, he's also laying some mine in here. So yeah, nice stuff here by both players. Bisu on the defense, but he's holding really nicely. And yeah, Flash now finally expanding. His expansion is online as he's more and more mining. So let's have a look. More and more units are being produced by Flash out of those factories. Same time, Flash once again moving out here really quick with those speed vultures, adding those mines, really being annoying as much as he can. Once again, going for this one economy. We remember 2 vultures can one-shot a probe, and yeah, this is exactly why it is here into this location. Really fast, just sniping probe after probe. 3 probes have already fallen, so nice job by Flash. And Bisu just reacting immediately with another expansion. Flash even adding yet another dropship with mass vulture, so this is his tactics. He really wishes to punish Bisu as much as he can. Bisu this time with a arbiter bay, with a arbiter being produced. Let's have a look. So it's going to be mass gateway units once again, just like in game number 1. This time Bisu not deciding to go for carriers, as he might think that Flash is pretty much prepared for this. In comes his dropship from the upper part. And let's have a look what exactly is this dropship going to be making here for him. Vultures getting dropped. Perhaps if he's not laying mines, if he's heading straight towards those workers, and this is exactly what he's doing, going to be sniping so many workers. 3 have fallen once again, laying down those mines, waiting now for the probes to come back, and perhaps luckily with a dragoon he could deal so much amounts of splash damage. Same time, once again 2 vultures move out for Flash. Flash once again multitasking, mining pretty much all of the main from Bisu. So Bisu has to come back with a observer just to clear those mines. And yeah, so much mining time has been lost. 3 workers have fallen as well. This Flash now has 6 more workers, but still Bisu with more bases than the Terran. So yeah, interesting enough, Bisu sends out some probes, going to get sniped, so more and more workers have fallen for Bisu. So Bisu needs to be more careful, not paying attention here, losing worker after worker. So a little bit of a sloppy move as Flash is repositioning his units here now into these expansion points, and there are siege tanks now, so Bisu needs to be careful. So many dragoons for him, but he really has to walk such a long distance towards this expansion point. Yeah, Flash with those tanks really so much mobile. Bisu sadly for him not paying attention, losing this one shuttle. Flash pretty much in a commanding position right now. Bisu has to come back from home with all of his units. Finally there is an arbiter, so this could be the chance from Bisu, but Flash is not going to stop here. He really wants to take out this expansion, and he has almost 20 more workers here than Bisu, so Bisu really hard game for him. From Flash proving to be such a great advantage for him. Perhaps another scan needs to be taken out just for that vision. That actually this one SCV is going to give vision just to take out this nexus, and Bisu looking like he has to sadly for him abandon that location, as he's also supply blocked now. Yeah, Flash all over the map, just multitasking. Even his mines getting some great connections, so Bisu, such a hard game for him. Has to defend at the same time, somehow punish Flash, and yeah, Flash just abusing those mines all over the map. Yeah, Bisu just has to clear them. Flash wishing to regroup in the middle of the map. Bisu takes this place here. Have a look at the next steps for both players. Finally, we have one science vessel for Flash, as this science vessel is really important just to give him vision against those invisible units, and even one Goliath just to take out a Arbiter. Let's have a look how things will unfold, where exactly Flash is going to be attacking. Of course, this position is nicely being defended by Bisu. This unit's a little bit exposed by Bisu once again. Bisu needs to be really careful, as the amount from Flash is really strong. Flash just once again placing his mine. Those mines placement were really great strategically placed by Flash against Bisu. Really nice job. Bisu once again not paying attention. He's pretty much being surrounded by Flash and this one base here. Of course, Flash doesn't have any idea from it, but in the end, Bisu, really hard game for him once again against Flash. And those mines were really crazy, but Bisu now with a great answer straight into the production buildings from Flash. Just dropped those units, and Flash actually has to retreat, so nice answer by Bisu against Flash. Now those zealots could deal so much economic damage. They don't have speed lag upgraded. Flash finally makes it here through, but so much time has been bought by Bisu against Flash. This time his zealots are into the middle line. So many workers have fallen already. Around 10 workers have fallen for Flash. He has to retreat the SCVs, and in the end he's going to be able to clear this, but really great recall by Bisu, proving us how strong those Arbiters are against the Terran. So nice job here by Bisu. Not only that he has damaged the economy from Flash, but he has also forced out a move back by those units. Really nice job by him. Yeah, let's have a look how things will finally unfold. Still Flash with 4 more workers, but Bisu is coming up slowly but steadily. Flash really has to make something happen. There are not that much defenses at home. Is he pretty much going to commit with all of his units? We are about to find out. And yeah, let's just see what exactly the next moves are going to be by Flash. Flash actually retreating once again, expecting a drop here. There it is. There is that recall by Bisu. Let's have a look. There's not that many defenses, no mines from Flash being added, but he is present here with his units. And yeah, this could have been, of course, a fake attempt by Bisu. Bisu just buying time for his economy. So really nice mind game once again by Bisu, as Flash is also taking this expansion here. So really crazy mind games by Bisu versus his opponent. And yeah, let's have a look how things will unfold. Once again, it's Mass Dragoons for Bisu. Let's just check those upgrades really quick. 1 weapons upgrades, and Flash once again 2 weapons upgrades for him, as the 2 armies might meet here in the middle of the map. Not that much energy for this one Arbiter, but this expansion is already pumping out. Bisu on the move out. Speed has been done for those zealots. Let's have a look what exactly his plans are going to be. Flash still, of course, such a difficult position here for him. He doesn't know should he move out with all of his units, should he stay back or leave some units behind. And it looks like he's just pretty much going to commit all of his units. He feels really confident. And yeah, he's just going to intercept now some of the units from Bisu. So Bisu in a little bit of trouble. Detection is there, so this one science vessel is really important for Flash, as he's wanting here to punch here through against Bisu. Bisu's army gets splitted. So the best defense is, of course, the attack. This is the idea from Flash, as he's going to be attacking here. Bisu scattered around. His army is scattered around. At the same time, Bisu not really wishing to intercept the army from Flash. Once again tries to round it, but in the end he's taking quite some damage out of those mines. Flash noticed this, but his main forces here, and he's not going to retreat this time. Just going to fully commit. Look at all of those tanks here just kiting around. Finally he sieges them up, and those workers will fall really quick. The pylons as well, so this has turned into a base trade scenario. Flash into this location, Bisu moving forward, but with him moving forward, he's actually keeps taking more and more damage out of those mines, and there should be some defenses here for Flash. Actually, there's great defenses here for him. Vultures in the front, mines in the front. Bisu is pretty much going to commit. He has some units, and yeah, Observer really important for him, but Flash is also keeps attacking here. And let's have a look. Is Bisu going to move forward? He's already taking damage out of those siege tanks. The mines are nicely being produced for Flash, and yeah, Bisu in a little bit of a bad position as he has to retreat. He can't commit because this gap would have been so small for him to move forward. There were siege tanks in the back, and now he just has to retreat home just to intercept this army, the main army from Flash, and even some SCVs just roaming around for him. So yeah, 180 supply versus 139. Bisu try somehow to surround here army from Flash, but those siege tanks are so nicely being positioned, nicely being guarded. There is no science vessel way out. There it is. Yeah, vision is there for Flash, as nice stasis traps by Bisu now being used as really great stasis traps for him. The zealots are in the front. Arbiter gets taken out. Some tanks will also be taken out. The reinforcements are coming in for Flash. It's just some science vessels, and really so much damage is being dealt, but in the end Flash somehow holds here his ground against those units. And not only that, but he's also pushing out with his reinforcements in the upper left part, in the actually middle part. Great hold by him. Bisu tries of course to throw everything he has against him, but yeah, that's not going to be enough. So Flash taking game number 3 pretty much convincingly against Bisu. It is 2-1. Let's just jump straight into game number 4. And we're back with game number 4 in between Bisu and Flash. So Bisu spawning here in the lower left as the white Protoss, and his opponent here in the upper right as the orange Terran. It is Flash. Sorry, I'm currently eating something. This really a very long series in between these two pro players. So what an exciting matchup we have. 2 versus 1, 2-1 currently. Flash leading against Bisu. This time they're spawning on circuit breakers. Once again we see the nice logo in the middle of the map, the STL logo. Remember, this is taken from 2016, so what an interesting strong series in between these two pro players it is. Looks like Bisu this time not deciding to go for a cheesy gameplay. He's just straight going to place his pylon here into the next proximity of his base. Flash also adding his supply depot here next to his mineral line, just to protect it, just to kite some marines back and forward here. So yeah, really nice stuff by both players. And let's have a look how things will unfold. So this looks like a pretty standard open up by both players, pretty standard macro oriented game. We might see the expansion really soon. This should of course be the barracks by Flash, not deciding to block the ramp. Also interesting position here by Flash, perhaps just to make it a little bit harder for those dragoons to walk here by, on those zealots to also walk here by. Let's have a look at the next steps by both players. Gateway should be added, but no, by the looks of it Bisu has enough minerals, so he's heading straight. Is this an expansion? Yes, he did. He went straight towards a fast expansion. So interesting build order this time by Bisu. He's heading straight into first pylon, no gateway, straight expansion, and he's just scouting the map now. Of course, the 2-minute mark, the timer to scout out the map, and both of them are going to be meeting here. So Flash might now see the direction from the probe as he just continues his way in the upper left part, or is he now? Bisu just heading straight into the main from Flash, sees this one barracks and sees that there is a factory also being produced by Flash, and sadly here for Flash is heading straight into the wrong direction, so a little bit of a miscalculation perhaps with this one probe, but Marine is out, so he can fend off this early aggression, this early scouting by Bisu. So yeah, there's this one factory. Pretty sure that once again he's going to be going for mass mechanical build units like siege tanks, goliaths, and so on, vultures. We also see the probes really nicely being transferred. So yeah, he's actually continuing with a 2 gateway strategy and 1 cybernetic score. So everything is going to get scouted for flash here. So yeah, everything is getting scouted for flash. He sees now the strategy, understands that it was a fast expansion build order, and flash currently a little bit behind, actually really behind. Worker wise they have the same amount, but expansion wise flash still has to wait for this one SCV to finish the expansion, as he's now trying to move out with some marines to make something happen. But we have a cybernetic score, 2 gateways, and yeah, those dragoons will pop out really quick as more and more probes are also being produced here by Bisu. So Bisu with an interesting move, and first into fast expansion. Of course, the 4 spawning location map of this map is going to allow this to be produced. So yeah, Bisu really feeling so much confident. We're closing at the 5-minute mark. Flash a little bit behind. Let's have a look at his main. Just this one factory going, of course, for those much needed vultures early on with those mines, and of course also trying to snipe some of those workers into the expansion point from Bisu. There are those dragoons. Range not yet being upgraded by Bisu. Mines are already being upgraded by him, and we also have a robotics facility bay. So this could be a drop intended by Bisu with even some dragoons. It could be an interesting idea if he goes for a drop with dragoons, but he might also add a Templar archives just like he did in previous games. So those TTs really deadly against those marines. And hold on, what do we have here? A nice hidden starport. So this reminds me of Starcraft 2, where many players like to go for their proxies around the map, but this time Flash choosing here almost the 12 o'clock position with his starport. And what exactly is he going to be doing? Perhaps some race. He's also making his add-on for this one starport. And let's have a look what his strategy is going to be. He has some marines out, he has some vultures. Actually he has 3 vultures already out, but of course the main entrance is nicely being guarded by Bisu, so this might be a drop. Yes indeed, those vultures are hiding straight towards the position from the starport. And yeah, let's have a look. Yes indeed, this is a dropship. So we have a nice cheesy gameplay by Flash, as he wishing now to punish this early greedy gameplay by Bisu. Bisu of course nicely guarding the entrance here with those dragoons, with those pylons, blocking everything. But little does he know that there will be a drop happening here into his main. Hold on, he's actually moving on with a probe, adding this one pylon. This pylon will be actually really important for him, as from the timing it's going to be seeing this one dropship. Where it is, there it is, there's that one dropship. Really nice stuff here by Flash. 6-minute mark, SCV has been sniped, but the real damage is of course going to be this dropship with those vultures into the main from Bisu. Bisu now moving out. Perhaps he's sensing something, he's scouting the map, and yeah, there it is, there's that drop, still not being detected by Bisu. In comes Flash with those speed vultures. Still he's going to start once again with some mines. I'm pretty sure it would have been better to go for those ropes, but now those mines even dealing damage towards himself, and a great splash damage here, taking out those dragoons. Flash with some serious engagement here, taking out worker after worker, and those mines really dealing so much splash damage. Vultures are really low, but not that much mining going on. Remember, however, Bisu has that expansion in the upper part, and once again Flash is sniping one worker. So if you ask me, I think it would have been better to go for the probes first, but then again Flash is the best player of the world, so who am I to tell him what to do? So yeah, mines first for him, taking out some dragoons, taking out some more workers. Flash also having 9 more workers than his opponent, as his starport is floating away. So really nice job by him. Early aggression, early cheesy gameplay here, proving to be really strong, as the dropship might be used later on with some other engagements. Yeah, he could have even added some mines here into this location, but yeah, like I told you, I'm sure he knows exactly what he's doing. Now let's have a look at Bisu. He's actually also moving out. What does he have into this dropship? Just a couple of zealots, and those zealots could be really deadly against those siege tanks. Now let's have a look. Flash sees it with this mine into this location, and where exactly is Bisu going? Perhaps he could just unload all of his units here straight with this one shuttle. He sees the mines, he sees the other mines, he sees the miners, the marines as in comes this one shuttle, and he's just going to straight drop those zealots into those siege tanks. So yeah, Flash really has one siege. So many dragoons. Zealots are exactly where they should be in the front. SCVs have to be pulled by Flash, so really bad situation for him, as even the tanks have to be pulled back. So much damage being taken by Flash. In the end, somehow those tanks survive, but now he's just picking up those dragoons, nicely microing them. Flash tries of course to protect this one siege tank as much as he can, but it's getting surrounded by 2 dragoons. So really great stuff by Bisu, out microing of course Flash, as he has this one shuttle into his advantage. So Flash in some serious trouble, has to once again pull the SCVs, has to surround those dragoons, taking some damage while this one tank is going to take out the dragoon. Many more vultures are following, but damage has also been nicely done by Bisu, as he's able to recover economic wise. He has 43 workers versus the 41, so really nice job by Bisu this time, out microing of course his opponent with this one shuttle. And yeah, Flash responding immediately with a move out with vultures on the map. And let's have a look what exactly is going to happen here. So really nice stuff here by Bisu, forcing a pull out with those SCVs. And by the looks of it, yes, Flash indeed is once again preparing a drop, so nice job by him. And yeah, but Bisu this time ready, expecting of course a drop with those dragoons nicely being positioned, so Flash could be in trouble, as Bisu is also retreating his shuttle with his 2 dragoons. Yeah, in comes Flash with his dropship. There is this expansion also being established by Bisu, as workers are being produced, workers are being transferred. And yeah, in comes Flash, but there were those dragoons here, so he could have been positioned them here. And let's have a look. Yeah, Bisu really prepared this time, as he's going to be very likely take out those vultures. So nice job, but Flash still dropping some vultures here. However, Bisu with his dragoons straight on point, taking out the aggression. Flash once again moves out, but the door is pretty much shut with those pylons. So Bisu thinking of everything. Of course, as we even have a dancing zealot here into the course from Bisu. Let's have a look at the next points. Bisu once again moves out with his dragoons, clears those mines. And yeah, Flash just placing those mines all over the map, has to add now some more reinforcements, more tanks, more vultures, as he has dropped quite behind. Remember, Bisu also has that second expansion up and running really nicely, so much earlier, better game for Bisu against his opponent. Let's see how things will unfold. Bisu also having a nice map presence with those observers in the air, as in comes once again the vultures from Flash. But what exactly can they do, as the door is pretty much shut by Bisu? And what can they do indeed, as even the dropshipper has of course been sniped. So yeah, Flash on the defensive move. He has to place those mines as much as he can, just to buy him as much as time as possible. Bisu of course on the scout out just to see where exactly those mines are being placed. And yeah, Flash just waiting here, just roaming around with those vultures, tries of course to find a good connection with them, but in the end those dragoons, the perfect counter towards those mines. Finally, the expansion is almost up for Flash, as he also came back nicely. They're both at the almost same amount of workers. Bisu having however much more supply than his opponent. And yeah, Flash just tries to build those defenses up, and nicely for him, he's even able to kill this one observer. That observer really important for Bisu. And even look at that nice greedy gameplay by Flash, as he's also taking the 12 o'clock position. He's once again buying himself some really important time with those vultures, just placing those mines, as she just keeps guessing Bisu where exactly those mines are hiding. And the observer is moving out. Let's have a look at this move out. Some workers have been sniped, but this one cannon nicely being placed by Bisu in the back for his security. So yeah, let's have a look at Flash once again, what exactly he's going to be doing. Of course, placing more and more mines just to give him more and more time. He knows he's a little bit behind, but there are There is detection in case there's an Arbiter coming. There are Goliaths on the map. Yeah, Flash still has this one base here, not being detected by Bisu. Let's have a look how things will unfold. At the same time, Bisu also taking his 6 o'clock, adding those cannons, so his economy should kick in really quickly. As the same can be said for Flash, he's also having many SCVs, as he's also now preparing his defenses. I'm pretty much sure of it. So yeah, tanks, of course, mass tanks. It is going to be with vultures, as Bisu still on the hunt for those mines. And many mines it is indeed for Flash. So many zealots are now being added by Bisu. No Arbiter, actually there is one Arbiter, so we might see a recall being prepared by Bisu, as Flash is of course now just standing back, just placing as many mines as he can, defending as best as he can. But in this meantime, Bisu also taking here expansion after expansion, also checking out the proximity. And now finally there is a army move out by the looks of it, straight a regroup into the middle of the map. Let's check those upgrades really quick. 1 weapons upgrades, Bisu still on the hunt for those mines. Let's check Bisu's flashes. 2 weapons upgrades, so once again Flash really having that strong upgrade advantage here against Bisu. But hold on, Bisu is actually being maxed out here at the 15-minute mark, so really strong move out by him. EMP, nice EMP, but Stasis Trap also being immediately being responded by Bisu, and now the army from Bisu is pretty much split up. There's a better position here for Flash. His vultures are in the front, the tanks aren't being attacked yet, but hold on, these zealots somehow make it through, as all the zealots also make it here really nicely through by Bisu. He has of course more supply than Flash. It seems to be tearing more and more through the defenses from Flash. Some reinforcements are coming in, but it's just a couple of Goliaths. And yeah, more and more units have been added here by Bisu, and Bisu all of a sudden really in a great position against Flash, as Flash keeps losing SCV after SCV, and he might even lose this expansion here. So great timing push. The economy from Bisu allows this attack, and yeah, Flash just leaves the game. So really great timing push by Bisu. Wow, just great stuff here by him, being maxed out. Bisu now also leaving the map. So this means that we are at a 2-2 score right now. Let's just jump straight into game number 5. Championship. What a crazy series we have here. Crazy timing push. Perfect macro game by Bisu in that 4th game, giving him the advantage against Flash. Flash caught by surprise, of course. Bisu overwhelmingly having 60 more supply than his opponent. Now let's just see how things will unfold here. Bisu also showing us carriers in the 2nd game, so he might go carriers this time. It might work out for him. But yeah, currently in the upper left part in the orange, it is Flash and his opponent here in the lower right in the red. This time Bisu in the red, perhaps just showing his aggression here. Look at me, I'm in the red, I'm feeling confident against you. Flash still in the orange, perhaps he likes his orange juice and his oranges. So yeah, nice pick of those colors by the both players. And yeah, let's have a look how things will unfold. Once again, normal open up here by both of them. Flash wishing to secure this ramp, wishing to block the ramp. Of course, Terrans cannot lift, and now lift those barracks. And an early scout it looks like here for Flash, so he really wants to know what exactly Bisu is up to. He really wants to not be surprised by a proxy move out by Bisu, by some proxy gateways and so on. Let's have a look. And yes, indeed, Bisu goes for the same build order just like in game number 4 it went. It worked really nicely for him. So nice greedy gameplay once again. Pylon into Nexus, so no gateway for him. Nice greedy stuff, interesting build order. A nice lesson if you're a Protoss player. Of course, a 4 spawning location map allows this build order. If it's a smaller map, I wouldn't advise you to do this, as we also have a Ursodon here in the middle of the map. And yeah, this is exactly why Flash is moving out really early, just to see what exactly the idea from Bisu is going to be. And it looks like he's also saving money for his expansion. Yeah, there it is. As the probe is now moving forward for Bisu. So Bisu once again with a early advantage. Sadly for Flash, once again he's heading straight into the wrong directions. So yeah, unlucky scouting here for Flash versus his opponent, as the first Marine will chase of course this probe away. Really great stuff here by Flash and Bisu. Flash, sadly for him, yeah, he's heading straight into the wrong direction. Now finally he's going to come home for Bisu's base, and we might see once again the second gateway, just like we saw it in game number 4. Yeah, there it is. So gateway into cybernetics core, and another gateway here for Bisu. As yeah, the expansion for Bisu is already pumping, but this time the timing is much better for Flash. Flash's expansion also almost being finished here, so he's not that much behind against Bisu, just like in game number 4. Let's have a look at his plans. His factory is still not up, perhaps into the main. No such thing. No factory yet for Flash. Yes, he might stay into bio, but it wouldn't be so much advised. The 2 gateways have been finished. The SCV is nicely scouting everything here for the Terran, as he had the first Marines to move out. And interesting enough, once again, Flash is moving out with his SCV, so he might once again hide a starport. It could be a possibility. There is his factory, or it should be his factory, yes indeed. So this one SCV, interesting. Just have a look what the plans from Flash are once again going to be against B. So it could be a nice, again, a hidden starport by the looks of it, or he could even hide some factories. But yeah, let's have a look at his decision. The probe is of course here roaming around the map. Currently nothing being produced here by Flash. And yes, things have settled down. Of course, range is being upgraded by the Protoss, by Bisu. And this could be another expansion from Flash. So Flash playing it really safely here. Also, I'm pretty sure that he's preparing a launch from this point. This is exactly why Bisu is adding this defensive pylon, this detective pylon here, just to detect those dropships, just to give him time to react. Of course, he has such a high APM. There was 400 APM at the beginning of the map, and now there's around 350, 280. Really strong stuff here by both players. Both of them actually at their peak of their career, 2016, 2017 it was. So yeah, pretty great stuff to be expected. Of course, production tab in the upper left part, siege tank ability. Some siege tanks will be added just in case more and more dragoons come towards his base. So yeah, Flash knows of course the timing really perfectly here, as we have passed the 5-minute mark. More and more is being produced. Still no production out of this SCV. Yes, Flash just waits for his defenses here. No vision for the Protoss, as this tank is nicely being hidden in the fog of war. So yeah, Flash should be fine here, but Bisu also taking here his other expansion. And let's have a look, another iron is being placed. So pretty standard opener by both players, but pretty standard gameplay from 2016. Even I would say that it is pretty standard stuff from 2020, 2021. And yeah, tank against those dragoons of course, and perfect nice vision here for the Protoss as he keeps adding pylon after pylon. He does fear of course a shuttle, a dropship gameplay by the Terran, but no such thing yet by the Terran, as he's playing it, like I told you, really safe. Literally both players at the same worker amount, more supply of course for Protoss. And yeah, Bisu just adding more and more gateways, so he's not going for some crazy build with some carriers. There is a robotics facility, and we might see a shuttle with a probe this time, so he's not going river, he's just wishing to expand. Like I told you, this is the last game of the series. Whoever wins it, this is why both of them are playing really safe, really calculated. Even this one SCV just being left here in case an observer moves out by Bisu, just to trick him a little bit. So crazy mind games indeed by both players. Slowly but steadily we're heading into the 10-minute mark, so still no strong engagement. Yeah, both players preparing their macro game, playing very safely. Once again, we're very likely going to be seeing mass gateway units versus mass mechanical units. And interesting enough, Flash is already going for some Goliath. So did he scan anything here into the main? I don't think he saw any carrier move out or carrier buildings, but interesting enough, he actually decides to already go for two gateways, sorry, two Goliaths here for him. So he might want to snipe some observer, he might want to snipe some arbiters in case there will be arbiters Let's have a look. We're closing, like I told you, in the 10-minute mark. Flash seems to be wanting to be the first one to move out. Let's be very attentive here. At the time it's the 8-minute mark. Of course he could uplift this barracks. And yeah, here we have Bisu this time with a nice move out with his one Reaver, with his shuttle and one Dragoon. So this is why he has added those Goliaths, just to have defenses against those shuttles. And yeah, the Reaver balls now dealing damage towards those Goliaths. So yeah, Flash of course anticipating an attack. This is why he has added those two Goliaths. I was a little bit surprised by that addition, but of course he knows much more better than me. He knows that timing from a drop around the 8-minute mark. And yeah, this is why he has added those Goliaths. So yeah, let's have a look. A nicely placed observer here for Bisu. And interesting enough, Flash is expanding here in the lower left part. No defenses at all, nothing needed, just producing more and more SCVs. As Bisu is just roaming around with his shuttle, with his Reaver, producing more and more Reaver balls. And slowly but steadily, Flash is also moving out with his tanks. His tanks are a little bit exposed, but Bisu also needs some zealots to punch here through. So he has to retreat, he has to be careful against this move out. Nice scan, so the observer is very likely going to be falling, but those tanks still pretty much exposed by Flash. But I'm sure he knows exactly what he's been doing. One weapons upgrade. Let's have a look at the Dragoons. 0 to 0 still, as more and more SCVs are being produced. So this nice base, this nice hidden base for Flash. So a starport, wanting to be starport, has actually turned into an expansion nicely here for Flash. A little bit risky if you may ask me, but Bisu is not expecting this, of course. He didn't see a SCV move out, as still roaming around here the map, so still having no idea about this one expansion by Flash. So interesting mind game once again. Flash versus his opponent. Yeah, let's have a look. Flash just having a nice position here. Still has to be added some more and more vultures. Of course, turrets in the air against the shuttle, against those DTs, in case there will be DTs. And the Reaver is on the ground, deals damage against those vultures, and even Flash adding another expansion, so fooling a little bit Bisu, making him think, okay, this is my second expansion, but no such thing. Actually, there is that second expansion already mining, and Bisu still has no idea about this, as he thinks that only now Flash is expanding. Actually, this is his third expansion, but Bisu of course being fooled here, having no idea about this expansion. A nice mind trick. Flash having more workers than Bisu. Bisu now of course concentrating towards this expansion point, still not knowing about the lower left, and here he comes with his zealots in the front, with his dragoons in the back, even the Reaver being prepared to get dropped, already taking some damage. Bisu is moving forward, but his troops are nicely being spreaded, so the tanks have been taken out. A better position here of those tanks in the high ground. The army is pretty much split around for Bisu. Is attacking all over the place, and this expansion is pretty much being cancelled. But there is that mind trick once again, like I told you. Flash having the lower left part of the map, and Bisu still having no idea. He thinks he has the advantage right now, he thinks he's being in the front, but he has no idea about this space right now, so he feels really confident. I would have felt really confident as well if I would be in his place. It's like, wow, I just cancelled that second expansion for Flash. But I think if he's going to watch the replay, probably going to be kicking himself. And now finally one zealot is being sent here in the lower left part, and what a surprise it is going to be here for Bisu to see this one expansion not defended at all, nothing here. And there it is, already mining. But if you look at the supply amount, Bisu having so much more supply than Flash, so he's still in a commanding lead. Let's have a look. Some SCVs have to be pulled, but yeah, what a surprise here for Bisu as he sees that expansion. Of course, he's going to send immediately everything he has. Flash has to react as well, but he's really slow with his siege tanks retaking here his base. Let's have a look what exactly is going to happen. Those SCVs still, Bisu is not going to commit, he's just going to leave. Of course, 3 zealots would be enough for that, as Flash preparing a flank against Bisu. So crazy mind games into this late game. Bisu even adding one cannon here, one pylon, sorry. And yeah, let's have a look what Bisu is going to be doing. Perhaps a recall into the main. what exactly is happening here, as Flash pretty much has to finally abandon this position, but the mining has already been done. Bisu into this location. Flash moves forward with his mines, taking damage, dealing damage against Bisu. Bisu tries, of course, will be able to successfully snipe some workers. Flash, in a little bit of a panic move, finally has to abandon the location, but the mining has already been done, as all of those SCVs have been pulled back towards this location. So slowly but steadily we're heading to the 15-minute mark. Crazy game. Flash still recovering from his losses, as we do see the recall now straight into those supply depots. Perfect recall here. Protoss, Flash has to retreat with his units. He has some vultures. He didn't have so many mines back then. Yeah, great recall by Bisu, showing us, of course, the strength of the Arbiter. What exactly is Flash going to be doing? He has, of course, enough defenses. He has detection with his one science vessel, so this should be cleared, but so many supply depots have fallen, as Flash is now being supply blocked. So great execution once again by Bisu, as he's also going to be securing his lower left part with this attack. Yeah, really nice game here by Bisu against Flash. What is going to be happening as this happening, of course, Bisu just keeps expanding all over the map, even taking the upper right part. So great game here by Bisu, looking really confident, really strong. More of a defensive gameplay once again by the Terran, but a sneaky hidden expansion here. Let's have a look how things will unfold. If the game will continue like this, if the recalls will happen, of course, Bisu will be in the commanding lead. Let's just check once again the upgrades really quick. 1 to 2 upgrades it is. Let's check Bisu, 2 weapons upgrades. Bisu not really wanting to go for that armor, for that shield. I'm pretty sure he knows exactly why. And yeah, as they will meet here, 1 EMP against this one Arbiter. Nice defensive posture here by Flash, as things have settled down a little bit. And yeah, Bisu once again on the move out. Really nice unit composition is for him. Dragoons, Zealots, some observers against those mines. Flash on the defense with vultures, with tanks. No Goliaths for him, just mass vultures and mass tanks, and of course those science vessels just to give him detection against the Arbiter. But yeah, if you look at the map, pretty much a nice L looking like shape for Bisu. It's pretty much expanding all over the map. Flash on the defense, still waiting for his opponent to make the first move. Now both players pretty much maxed out. Bisu, however, having almost 80 workers, so this supply would be important for the Terran. Of course, he has then more army supply than his opponent. Still on the chase here, still on the move. Flash, let's have a look. Is he going to regroup somehow? Is he going to split his army? But Bisu is the one making the first move, clearing those mines. Tanks should be really next to him. And yeah, first tank shots already dealing some damage towards those Dragoons. And in come the Zealots from the back. The tanks are dealing as much damage as they can. Nice stasis trap once again. Vultures perfectly defending the tanks. Supply depot also nicely defending the tanks. More and more is being added. A shuttle flies here over. And a really good engagement this time for Flash. Nice defense for him, allowing the Protoss to come here through. But Bisu losing quite a great amount of supply. But of course his economy looking really strong, so he could come back. But the question is Flash going to allow this to happen? He's now finally moving out with his forces. He's feeling really confident, even though Bisu is once again being maxed out. But remember, he has more workers. So Flash with a higher army count than his opponent. So in comes the attack. The Vultures are in the front. Nice guarding shield onto those one siege tanks. Nice stasis trap even, but it's making it a little bit more difficult for those Zealots to walk here through. Mines getting good connections. The siege tanks in the back aren't sieged up, of course, not to deal splash damage, as Flash is continuing here to push forward. Still Bisu comes back with his reinforcements, almost hitting the second science vessel as well. And this could be a better position here for Flash, as he's nicely going to be able to attack everything. Let's have a look. 2 Arbiters are here. Some Zealots do make it here through. Zealots in the back as reinforcement. Still those tanks. Let's have a look at those upgrades. 2 to 3. So how those upgrades are really starting to kick in really strongly here for Flash. Look, plus 15 damage here for Flash, and even plus 2 plating. and dealing so much damage and being so much more defensive, but so many more bases for the Protoss against the Terran, who is going to have the upper part into this game, as Flash deciding once again to multitask all over the map. He's splitting his troops. Those vultures are perfectly guarding here the ramp with some mines. We even have a beast looking like creature. What is this? Win and done. Really great stuff, as we see the ramp once again being taken by Flash. So Flash with his tanks, with his vultures, those mines really dealing so much damage. Finally Bisu can clear the smaller group of army, but his main and his expansion pretty much dead, as he keeps adding more and more arbiters, and the economy from Flash looking really strong, as Flash just keeps moving all over the map around with vultures, with tanks, just splitting his units, not clumping them up together, even taking the middle of the part, but he's just all over the map. And all of those units that are being produced here by Bisu just have to be of course rallied back, as Flash is all over the place here. Vultures with tanks, and remember those tanks are so strongly upgraded 2 to 3, so that is a great advantage here for the Terran mechanical army against the Protoss. Let's have a look. Is Bisu somehow going to react with a drop? No. Some vultures do make it here through, as ropes have to be pulled back, and yeah, Bisu just keeps losing more and more workers. There's that recall. So this is the reaction from Bisu, heading straight towards the middle of the map, cancelling here this expansion. So much damage is being taken by both players, economic wise, both players trading blow, but Flash just keeps pushing here forward, just attacking those gateways. Yeah, the production buildings really have to be rebuilt somewhere. They are being rebuilt here by Bisu into the upper right part. Reinforcements for Flash. Bisu a little bit on the retreat. This position nicely being taken by Flash, as more and more arbiters are being produced. Perhaps some carriers would also be a cool idea for Bisu, but is it possible? His economy would allow it. Let's have a look what is going to happen. Of course, those tanks on the ground really strong for Flash, as even this one supply depot flying in the air for Flash, giving him vision against those arbiters. Flash just keeps moving forward here against Bisu. Bisu taking so much damage, and the production building once again will suffer for Bisu. Bisu really pretty much cornered. He has to find somehow a way out. He has to find somehow a way to regroup his units. And yeah, such a great timing push by Flash, not deciding to stay back, deciding to push here forward, and his units are nicely splitting all over the map here. And yeah, Bisu coming in with some arbiters. We might see some recalls. There are no anti-air, there's just one gateway here, sorry, one goliath for Flash, and of course nice stasis traps being used by Bisu against those units. And in come the zealots now, but there's so many mines by Flash, so those zealots will fall really quickly. Perfect counter, those vultures against those zealots. Really nice stuff, as the siege tanks keep continuing here their push against Bisu. More and more zealots have been added, even some DTs, so there is no detection. I don't see that science vessel in the air. So yeah, Flash just keeps pushing more and more forward. There's that one science vessel, he needs it as a detection. And yeah, more and more is being added here. So if I look at the worker count, if I look at the supply count, it looks like Flash did it. He has 200, he's maxed out. Bisu only at 80, as his bases are crumbling, as they are falling. More and more damage is being added. Just a couple of zealots, but what exactly can they do against those defenses and against those mobile vultures by Flash? Flash so much faster here than Bisu. Still some units are being produced here. It's just mass zealots, but in come the vultures, and those vultures are really deadly against those zealots. So yeah, more and more buildings are being taken here by Flash. Slowly but steadily, finally some arbiters do take out those tanks, but look at this sheer great mass of units by Flash that would have come here through. Yeah, this is indeed the victory for Flash. 3-2 it is for him. So such a crazy game, such a great series by these two pro players. So really exciting games. We've seen carriers, we've seen arbiters, mass, of course, mass mechanical units by the Terran. Really great execution by both players. In the end, Flash proving to be strong, coming here faster back. At one point I saw that he would lose it. He had 60 supply less than Bisu. But yeah, in the end, Flash coming back, being more courageous, moving out with his tanks, and once again multitasking. Really hard to execute those multitasks. Just spreading those units, not clumping them all together, just spreading them, just leaving some units just to deal damage all over the bases from Bisu. So really great series. Congratulations to Flash taking it with 3-2. If you guys want to check the stats out of this game, let's just check the stats really quick before I of course leave the game. Great series indeed it was. Even the Observer with 18 APM. Nice APM by both of them, of course. At the beginning of the game we even saw 400, 500 APM. Of course these pros need their reaction to be as high as possible. They literally are clicking on the keyboard and mouse 500 to even 600 times. I've seen it on StarCraft 2 as well. But yeah, crazy stuff here. I'm sure that some paramedics are on standby if those pros are playing out of their minds. So yeah, nice grand final in between these two great StarCraft 2 players from South Korea. Once again, I hope you guys enjoyed this series as much as I did. This is your host Tommy signing out. Thank you so much for watching.